I think there's nothing wrong. You are not less of a person. You are not uncivilized. You are not myopic. You are not dull. You are not stupid being a virgin in your 20s. Yes, be it early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, even early 30s. So far you're not married. It's so beautiful to be with you guys again this time. And before I talk about what we will be talking about, I just want to thank you all that have been following, my subscribers. Thank you for the support. Thank you for always viewing and always coming back to the channel. God bless you all. So today we'll be talking about virginity. I know you guys saw the title, Being a Virgin in My 20s. The title, sorry. And I know you want the gist. But before we go to gist and the rest, I'd like us to really examine this concept well. First of all, who is a virgin? Damn question. Okay, a virgin is one who has not experienced or used a specified thing before. But for the video, I'm not here to teach you the meaning of a virgin or different concepts of virginity. We're looking at a particular aspect, and I know you guys know where I'm going to. Okay, but before I continue, I want to ask a question. Do you think that virginity is underrated or overrated in our society, like in this present dispensation? What do you think? And another question is, why is it that, see the way I'm pointing my hand, why is it that virginity is seemingly pushed to a particular gender this time around? Like, it's just for, we have made it look as if it's just for a particular gender. Maybe you can tell me something in the comment section. But first of all, I believe that virginity is underrated. It's very underrated in our society now. And I also believe that virginity is not for a particular gender. So there's no need always pushing it to one gender. When we talk about virgins, you just think of one pretty young girl. So it's both male and female. I think there's nothing wrong. You are not less of a person. You are not uncivilized. You are not myopic. You are not dull. You are not stupid being a virgin in your 20s. Yes, be it early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, even early 30s. So far you're not married. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you being a virgin in your 30s. You're not married. There's one time in my church, I don't want to tell the story, but I've been in a position, I've been in a circle where this virginity matter was brought up. They realized that an older sister in church that was not married, she's quite advanced, and she was still a virgin. Everybody was just in shock. Everybody just kept saying things like, how come, how can, in your 30s. I understand it's because it's rare to find, but it's the way we make it look like it's bad. You're not civilized, you don't know what you're doing. It's because she's not educated. That's why she's still a virgin at this point. We're in a society where it's like, if you have not experienced this, you've not explored sexually, that there's something wrong. Is it that you are sick? You have something, there's something wrong with you, or you are lacking, you don't have the adequate opportunity to explore. Or there's just something, there's just a reason for it, to make it look like it's not normal. Even for young persons here and students, you can agree with me that sometimes when you're around the kind of group, they try to discourage you, they try to make you believe that you need to go and explore. Are you not a child at this age? If not that you are immature, you are this. I want to really tell you, first of all, before I continue, that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad about you staying celibate. There's nothing bad about you being a virgin. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I believe there are advantages to you staying that way till you get married. Aside from the scripture, which is our guide, but generally speaking, there are lots and lots of advantages. Do you understand? Say yes, Auntie. Okay, but truthfully, I have been serious. At least number one, you're saved from sexually transmitted diseases. Yes. You don't know how people are suffering right now. You know. Let me not say you don't know. You guys know. Sometimes we go around, we find fine girls, fine boys, cute, tall, dark and handsome, with good clothes and good outfits. And we don't even know the number of things they are suffering from, the things they have down there, diseases and everything they are battling with. It's not written on the face most of the times. Do you understand? We don't see these things. And these are things that they would have not gotten into. Like if they were not exposed to the things they were exposed to. Because most of the times, our relationships suffer they suffer because of our past, our experiences. As people get into relationship with emotional baggage, things they've experienced, mental instability, all those trauma, all those things, they get into maybe the main relationship with it. And it would have been avoided if they stayed celibate. Don't get me wrong. I know that there are times when people have emotional issues and challenges and mental instability that is not as a result of their sexual life or whatever. It might be as a result of other things that happen to them. But most of the times people come out shattered from all these relationships, sexual relationships, so to say. And the person who suffers is your spouse later, your wife or your husband. Out of those experiences, they don't leave you the same way you came. When we go to church, you will never go back the same way you came. The relationship will promise you that you're not living here the same way you entered. And so your spouse is going to suffer it because you're going to be reflecting those things. I've heard of a story of a young girl. This is not her fault. She was raped and molested so badly, and it became part of her. Yes, she finally moved on in the way we think moving on is. And so she moved on and got married. And every time she wants to, every time it's time for her to be, every time it's time. English. Every time she wants to be intimate with the husband, or the husband tries to be intimate with her, she becomes very violent. There's a reflection of what happened in the past. And this one is just another side of the story. Most times it's not rape, but all those things, they leave something in us that we carry on to our relationships. You see comparisons, competitions. You're comparing your husband to Tom, you're comparing your husband to Michael, you're comparing your wife to the last lady you had experiences with. Some of these things, if you look at the original state of our sexual journey, we were supposed to start this on a plain sheet, like a blank sheet, no experiences. You marry your husband, you guys get to learn these things all together, together, you learn together. That is the original concept, original plan. If you go back to the time of creation, you see that Adam met Eve. Adam was not exploring before Eve came. He didn't call the lioness and say, okay, I think I need to check if we are compatible. Look for another animal. Let's check. This compatibility that we always check. There was nothing like that, and the both of them knew each other, and I believe they learned the best way to satisfy each other. So if you're learning for the first time with your partner, you get to learn. If it's not working, you guys can always see a doctor. You understand? I'm just saying that is like the original concept. But things have happened, society, this dispensation, a lot of things have changed, and there are other things we need to consider while making such assertions. But I'm just trying to say that staying celibate, there is beauty in it. There is beauty in virginity. So nobody should make you feel less of a person. You don't allow the society to make you feel like you are a stupid person staying celibate. It's a beautiful time. It's a time you are concentrating. Have you ever been traumatized emotionally? You see that your productivity is affected. So those times, it's a better time for you to even concentrate and do other things, especially as a teenager. Imagine pushing and combining sexual relationship with your academics and other things. You see, no matter how firm you want to make it look, you are being distracted at some point. It's not easy. Relationship is a whole lot of dedication, a whole lot of work. There are excuses we make up for sex. I hope it will not come from me for mentioning this word. There are excuses we make up for all these things. I know some people will say it is therapeutic, it makes you fit, it does this and does that. It is actually a beautiful concept. God who made it knows that it is for man's pleasure. It's beautiful. Some of these excuses we make is the reason why we make terrible mistakes. And sometimes when we advise people, that's another area I want us to look into. You know, sometimes we advise people and say you're not old enough for our parents because I'm somebody's child. You know, we are being advised, and when we even talk to the younger generation, or we're talking to each other, we keep telling ourselves that there are some things you've not gotten to. It's not yet time for it. Don't worry when I get to that stage. And this is why when we build that mindset, this is why we wait for a particular time to explore, to do some things. Let's talk about things because they are wrong and not because there's a particular stage for it. What do I mean? You know, sometimes, I don't know, as a child, if you've ever seen a movie with your parents and there are things about sex and the rest of them, things that come up, and then your parents are like, see, don't go and do this, you are not old enough for this. Igbo people say, there's a time for this, there's a time for this. And you know, we just build this mindset that, okay, when I'm 18, I think I can explore. See, fornication is fornication. It is wrong. You are not licensed at any stage. You are not licensed at any point. There is no perfect excuse for it. You don't say, when I get to 20, 21, at least I'm old enough for it. Yeah, you are an adult, but you're not old enough to mess up your life. It's not bad if you keep this aside and focus. Obviously, you will get married. You will get married, and all these things we are pursuing for, the ginger. There will be time when you're saying, I'm tired, I don't want again. It is true. So what's the need of pursuing another aspect of your life just to pursue something that you can always have to the end of time? In the midst of all this that I've said, there's another side of the coin to this. Just in case you were molested, you were raped, or you had experiences in the past, you've made mistakes, you've lost your virginity and the rest of them. Nobody is going to sit here to judge you. I am not a judge. You understand? We all make mistakes. I've made my mistakes. We all do make mistakes. But the beautiful thing is that you're able to stand, dust yourself, and continue. If you're molested, you need to forgive to heal. Forgive the person. Try to forget. I know I can really relate to that. It's not like I was basically molested, but there were several attempts. I think one of these days I'll tell you my story. So I can understand the kind of bitterness you would have, but if you would want to heal, you need to let go of this bitterness. You need to forgive to heal. And just in case you are addicted already to this, please, you have to look for solution. If it means going to counselors, you can come out of it. You can come out of that toxic relationship. If you're in a relationship where someone is blackmailing you just to have his way, the man is saying, if you love me, give me sex, that's not a proof of love. Please, you have to get away from that kind of relationship. Or the woman is blackmailing you, because guess what, it's not only the man. So please do well to get out of this. And I want you to have it at the back of your mind that I said there's nothing wrong with being a virgin. In your 20s, we can always be there. We can stay celibate. We can save ourselves of emotional baggage. We can save ourselves of trauma. We can save ourselves of a lot of things that will come up later in future. And plan to have beautiful relationships. I don't know about you. I plan to have a beautiful marriage. And it will start with your dedication, your work, your discipline, your decisions. Right now, you prepare for marriage. You don't prepare when you're married already, right? Guys, for the young persons listening to me, you can always make the right decision right now. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you. I love you all. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. I beg you. That's a favor I'm asking of you. Do well to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. I love you.